Hello, everybody. This is Lisa Paik. Oh, and my dog has decided to start barking, but okay, he'll be quiet, hopefully. I'm here today with Sietske Cuhfus, and we are going to talk, and she's from Ownit Magazine. Yep. Thank you for, I guess you'll start me quiet. This is the power of live video, right?
Yes.
Sometimes it goes well, sometimes it's crazy. But you're from Ownit Magazine?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I've been talking to Lisa a couple of times now. This is my second time for going live. And Ownit Magazine is almost a year old. I will be publishing the next issue, and that's number 5. Mm-hmm. And it's about women and leadership. And it's available in the app stores now, so that's really, it's awesome.
Yeah,
I think it's
very
awesome.
cool. Very cool. You've got your own app.
Yeah,
how cool is that to have your own app, everybody?
Yeah, and it's really easy to go back now. So you have all the magazines in the app, and you can just scroll through the magazines, and it's loaded with great content. So just take a look at the app, and we'll start with this interview now.
Super.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
This next issue is about women and leadership. And I'm talking with Lisa because she's always in the magazine with a topic. And this topic is about money being a mirror of your personal power.
Yeah. And
I must say that at first I got this itchy feeling with me because money has been a topic for me for a long time, and it still is. So can you explain, Lisa, how come? How would this be like? What would be the cause of this itchy feeling for me?
Well, okay, let's take a step back for a second there, because usually our behavior, money actually is nothing other than a reflection of our behavior, what we do, right? Anything that's in our outer world is a reflection of what's in our inner world, okay? So the belief system that we have about ourselves and about the world is going to reflect outside of us. So my premise is that if you look at the way that you deal with money, that's a reflection of what's going on in your inner world. So your personal power is a really important part of your inner world. And the things that represent your personal power are, for example, whether or not you are able to express self-love, whether you're able to feel your worthiness, whether you take personal responsibility, whether you trust in yourself and in the universe, so to speak. And all of these things are reflected back to you in how you deal and how you handle your money in your life and in your business.
Yeah.
So if you say, "Ooh, money is a reflection of my personal power," and that makes you feel a little bit weird, then maybe it's, I don't know. We can have this is really interesting. I'm glad that you touched on this, because it's a really interesting conversation. Yeah. It's like, okay, is it that you don't want to talk about the money, or is it that you don't want to talk about power? Because women have a really interesting relationship with power, huh?
Yeah, I think it's, for me, that itchy feeling has something to do with the connection of money being me, and I don't feel like money is me, and I feel that's a real strange connection, between, it gives me a little bit of that, like, money's not that important. I know it's important to do stuff to create what you want to create. Yeah. But it does give me this feeling when it's being equaled with me, me looking in the mirror, and that's money.
No. I mean, of course, money is only an element of our lives. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So please don't misunderstand me when I'm like, oh, you and money, that's the representation of everything you are. Absolutely not. But it's definitely it's a way to take a look at yourself. Yeah. It's a way to take a look at your behavior. But at the same time, that concept of money is me, I actually really believe that money is our transformed personal power. Okay, and okay, so let me break that down in case for people that are listening. So we're all hopefully doing something to help others in the world, especially if we have a business. That you're actually out there doing something that you're passionate about, that you're really using your talents, you're really using your energy, you're investing your time. So it's as if you're taking part of you, your passion, your talent, your skills, you're putting it out there in the world.
Yeah.
You're helping someone. Yeah, you're serving them. They're grateful for whatever it is that your service or your product is. They're grateful. And they want to reciprocate.
Yeah.
And the way that they reciprocate is with money. It can be a different form, but in our Western culture, the primary form is money. Yeah. So technically, when we are creating money using our power, using our talents, using our love, using our skills. So
can I just because something came up for me, like you have, like, on the internet, you have all those free stuff, and then sometimes when you take a look at it, it's not free, or you have to pay, and I know from a lot of people that it's, they get this feeling like, oh, I thought it was free and now it's not free. It's like a bit of they're a bit disappointed, and maybe even like having this being cheated upon,
Yeah.
And I've come to see that, of course, when you're bringing value to the world, you have to be compensated, with money.
Yeah.
And but I'm really curious of why is this feeling there with a lot of us, like being cheated upon, because people don't like to be sold to. A lot of us.
Okay, actually, there's lots of interesting parts about what you just, the context of what you just described. And it also goes back to, for example, let's take from the position of the entrepreneur. Mm-hmm. I want to put my talents and skills. I want to show value. I want to help people. Our nature, especially as women, is to give and give and give.
Yeah.
If we just continue to give and give and give, that's then, if I go back to the money as a mirror analogy, that's at some point we will become depleted. We will not be demonstrating self-love. We will be depleted if we don't allow ourselves to receive something in return.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the self-love part. Yeah. It's also a demonstration of not taking personal responsibility, because you also need to be able to pay your light bills. You need to be able to, you need to be able to take care of the things that are important for you in your life, and that means that you have to have the giving and receiving exchange.
Yeah.
Okay, so but at the same time, people want to get to know you. They want to get to know me. Mm-hmm. That, and I want people to know who I am, what I do. So I give value to a certain extent.
Yeah.
I would never say that it's free. You just are receiving value, and I'm not expecting a payment or so for this exchange. But at some point, there comes a point where I take responsibility. I mean, I'm running a business.
Yeah.
I'm not running a charity.
Yeah.
So there's definitely a give and exchange that needs to happen. If you look at it from the other side, now that's I think is an interesting example. If someone feels like, oh, I'm being cheated because it's actually not free, that's interesting. I would want to talk to that person, because it could be a symptom of a mindset that's quite rooted in scarcity.
Yeah.
Where you expect. It seems like it's a symptom of entitlement. And entitlement is grounded in, I deserve everything. That's different than, or I deserve, I'm entitled to this, rather than from a place of personal worth, where I deserve to be taken care of. There's two totally different places. The one is abundance and the other is entitlement. And entitlement is scarcity. That's like not even taking personal responsibility. At some point, things have a value, and things need to cost money.
Yeah, and I really like the point that you just pointed out, is the personal responsibility.
Yeah.
Because that's that's where it starts.
Yeah, absolutely.
And taking that responsibility just starts with doing what you told yourself to do, or what you
said you were going to do.
You committed yourself to do.
Yeah.
And
it does.
yeah, can you elaborate a little bit more on the responsibility? Personal responsibility.
Sure. As it pertains to money and leadership. Yeah. I think so. When you're looking at, I talk to a lot of people who are in, past the startup phase in their business, and they're getting to the point where they actually really want to grow, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's use that as a context, because I think that'll work with a lot of the people who are watching. Because people are in business. This is primarily a business-focused group that's watching this for me and for you.
By the way, there's Judy and Nadine.
Oh, hey guys. Okay, we'll get to that question in a minute. Great question, Nadine. We'll be right back to that. So we were talking about personal responsibility. Okay, so personal responsibility means that you don't fight reality. Okay, you actually are aware of where you are. You get really real. You get real about your money. Yeah. You get real about you have a big vision. Yeah. I'm always really I want to have a really big vision. Everybody that has a really big vision for the impact they want to create in the world. Yeah. And then they need to get real. Where am I now? Yeah. And what is the first step that I can really take to get that, to build my business and make that vision real? Yeah. But that first step has got to be grounded in personal responsibility and reality. Yeah. And what I see happening a lot of times is that there's this fight going on. Yeah. You get so impatient and you want it so fast, and I recognize it in myself.
Yeah, me too.
That you recognize it in yourself, and so you fight the reality, which in effect is not taking responsibility for the here and now. So it's and
it does feel like. When I'm working on the magazine, and it's really, I know it comes from my heart, and I know it's for impacting the world, so it comes from this deeper place. On the other hand, I still have to pay my bills, and that's where I have to take responsibility. And there has been a time, I recently changed it, that I was thinking it will change because I'm doing good to the world, it will change and something will come up, but I didn't take full responsibility. Yeah. And
what did you change then? What did you change at that point?
Yeah, I changed, I have to take responsibility to pay my bills now and find a way to do that and still work on my bigger idea with the magazine. Sure. And of course, you will have some contradictions there because you only have 24 hours in a day. Sure. So sometimes there's the contradiction. Yeah. And that's where the friction is as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And but it's the only way to get ahead.
Sure, it is. It's like impatience is a fantastic. Impatience is a power zapper. So if it's a power zapper, it's a money zapper. It's like a leak. Yeah. It's good because it's a symbol of the drive that you have and the bigger vision that you see, and the fact that you're feeling like, oh, so much more I can create so much more, I can be so much more, my business can be so much more. But if you're not careful and you don't ground that back in the personal responsibility and the getting real of, okay, but wait a minute, this is where I am now, and what's an aspirational step and a risk that I can take in the next step that will bring me to my big vision. Yeah. It's got to be grounded in the personal responsibility. Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
Do you want some...
there was... Okay, I've got also the questions down here. So if you see me looking away, that's because I can see the questions even a little bit better down here. Yeah. Let's see. Nadine. Yeah. The question about entitlement equals scarcity. Yeah. Great question, Nadine. Can I be a little bit more specific on that? Yeah. Entitlement is kind of rooted, and maybe that's a word that's not so familiar. Entitlement is basically the idea that that I'm entitled for someone to serve me. Okay? And that actually is a quite disempowering concept. It's a quite disempowering attitude, because you have the personal power to be able to take care of everything, to be able to take responsibility and create change in your own life. So oftentimes the concept or the feeling of entitlement is rooted in the fact, I deserve, for example, to have someone from an outside source take care of me, and that is what I mean. And that is a scarce. That is from a position of scarcity. That implies, or that can imply, depends on the context, but that can imply that you don't believe that you have the personal power to be able to take care of yourself, and that someone needs to do it for you. And that's what I mean about the fact that entitlement is scarcity driven.
I never understood it, but now you made it clear. Wow, that's great. Yeah. So what's the other question? Sometimes you need to move past.
Fears and be pragmatic. Absolutely, Nadine. That's when we were talking about impatience and wanting to change the world. Sometimes you got to get just past that fear and take a real pragmatic next step. Absolutely. Great.
Yeah. And
cool.
My second question was, why are we afraid of money?
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, my premise is that money is the mirror of your personal power. Yeah. So if you're afraid of money, then actually, I think you're more afraid of your own personal power. Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh, that might need to settle in for some people.
Yeah.
So we have such an interesting relationship with the concept of us being of being powerful. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, really showing up and doing what we're here to do in the world. It's scary. Of course it is. And so if you, if money is then the representation of how you've shown up in the world and served, which is my premise, the more people that have a lot of money have served and helped more people for the most part. They've come up with a way to be able to serve people and be well reciprocated for it. So if you're afraid of money, you're afraid of it's like you're afraid of your greatness, to be able to really go out there and serve the world in a big way.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. And just for me personally, I do think it's kind of layers. You have to go, you start at the bottom, you say, well, I have this great idea and I'm starting. I started out with Ownit Magazine. And before that, I had another magazine that was more about me. And then I came to this point where I thought, well, it doesn't have to be about me anymore. It has to serve others. Yes. And that's where I took the big leap. And it's, every time, it's still up to now, I'm going through these layers of fear, really. And just stepping up. And I just was telling Lisa 2 days ago, I was just, crying on the couch and it's going nowhere. And so it's, and then the day after, I'm feeling like, really powerful again. Yeah. And it's funny to see, you start to see this pattern.
Yeah, you do.
Starting to see that every time I'm taking a step, my app just came out. That's a big step for me.
Probably a big investment as well.
Yeah, big investment too.
Yeah.
So, and then you start crashing down for a moment.
Yeah.
And you have to pick up yourself again and see, and keep believing that it's good, and that it will lead to what you want it to lead to.
Yeah, I mean, and it's fear, but you're taking, like I said, you're taking an aspirational risk. Yeah. You're taking a calculated risk. You've done your homework. Yeah. Of course, there's fear associated. Whenever you take a big step, there's always fear associated with it. It would be crazy if it didn't. I mean, we're taking a step outside of our comfort zone. So of course, there's fear associated with it. And it's so amazing, and I'm so glad to hear that. I mean, you're so well aware of how that fear manifests in yourself, and you're like, okay, let's breathe, let's do this. I've done my homework. I've taken the calculated risk. You're not being reckless with an investment that you're making. No. You've taken a calculated risk, and then you say, okay, let's do this. Yeah, let's go. Yeah. Every time you take a step up, you're gonna have that fear again. And that's a question, it's a good thing to say, okay, so what is this fear about? What is this fear about? And it's fantastic that you...
And I think for me, you know, the fear is what you were talking about earlier, the fear of being great. You know, of, can I really live up to that? You know, can I live up to that dream that is in my head? And sometimes I just feel, no, I can't, you know, or, and the other, and on other days, I just, you know, I feel I'm on top of the world. Yeah. When and most of the times it is when you're in contact with somebody and you get this great idea, or you can help them or whatever. Sure. You know?
Because then you're in that zone of service, right? Then you're in that zone of service. You're in that zone of doing whatever it is that you're here to do. And that is like where you know, and so the challenge is to stay in that zone, to stay in the zone of service in a way that it's that it's part of your true talent, that, you know, the zone of genius, I mean, it's your zone of genius to do what you do. Sietske. So it's just a matter of question of, you know, investing and taking the time, and it grows and it grows. And I mean, you know, just like, you know, and working with people to help you spread your message. Like you're helping me spread my message about women and empowerment and money. And I'm helping you spread your message about, you know, really owning it and really working in your business and being sparked by all of the different opportunities that there are through your magazine. So that's the way it works. And then my mission and your mission, they are synergized, and that makes the mission even bigger and helps us create, and helps us, back to your topic of your magazine for this month, it helps us be better leaders because we're in our zone. We're using our personal power. We're in our zone. We're serving. We're on a mission. We're leading. We're helping people. We're serving. And that's what this is all about. And I just wrote my introduction for the magazine.
And it was about, you know, the word leading. It has this you know, this world around it, like you have to be a born leader, and I'm not. You know, and I don't think it works that way. To be a real leader, you really have to look at yourself and grow. And
absolutely.
I can see some questions.
My dog loves this chat as well. He's looking for the dog. Yes, my dog is loving this. He so wants to come in.
Sorry.
I'll give him a treat in a few minutes. She's being so patient. But the dog is funny. So, but I mean, you know, I believe that leadership is, you know, you develop yourself as a leader. I mean, I'm in the process as well, like you are. I mean, you know, and it means that you really reflect on yourself. What is it that I'm really about? How can I step up? How can I really be true to myself so that I can serve other people? And that is a process. That does not happen overnight.
No.
I mean, even Martin Luther King Jr. or all of the great orators and leaders that we associate, you know, Oprah. I mean, she didn't wake up one day and say, I'm a leader. That's not the way it works.
No. And leader is, in this case, is like setting the example for somebody else. And I think that's...
I think it's a good way to end.
Me too.
Great. Well, thanks for listening and watching. I'm going to go give my dog a really big treat now. She's been so patient. So your new magazine's going to be out when?
Yeah, it's going to be out on the 13th.
Great.
13th of March. And you can take a look at it in the App Store. So Ownit Magazine. Yeah. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.